Welcome to Heavy TV. My name is Damo. We have John and Pete from Baroness.
Excellent.
On the couch with us. How you going, guys?
Pretty well. Good.
Excellent. Well, thank you for coming back to Australia. It's been a while since you guys... When I say a while, it could mean 6 months because we just want you fucking here.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming back.
Yeah, no problem.
Excellent. Now, the last time you were here, though, you were here on your own, doing the solo thing.
About 2 years ago.
Yeah, you had a good time on the solo tours?
Always have a good time in Australia.
Excellent. Well, now you're here with the whole band again, and still pushing the green and yellow, or is there a new album on the horizon?
We're starting to write a new record now. These are the last 2 shows. Tonight and tomorrow night, or 2 nights from now, will be the last 2 shows we do for Yellow and Green.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Awesome. And and with the ideas and things like that, you've always had like interesting themes and things like that on your records. I have to ask how you come up with these sorts of themes, because like you've got like not only that as well, the musically, like it's listening to your records, you can't just dive in on one song. It's like you have to listen to it from start to finish.
Yeah, and that's how you're supposed to listen to records.
Well, I agree, but this is a digital age now where people are just fucking downloading songs, you know, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's well, we're not Katy Perry. We're not writing singles. We write records.
Yeah.
For people to listen to.
And they do listen to it. Now, the obviously the biggest thing with Baroness is probably talked about the most, though, is the artwork and the packaging for your album, and namely what you did with Yellow and Green. It was a book. It came out originally as a book, and the vinyl was even like crazy colored, half and half colors and things like that. How much of that is like thought up purely by you guys, or is it like a label?
Pretty much all of it.
Yeah, so it's not Relapse saying you should try this or something.
No, that was it was our idea to do all that. I mean, you know, like once again, you know, because we're not selling singles like pop bands sell singles, and we're just, you know, and because of the music that we play, we still have obviously like our fan base and our listeners are still buying records.
Yeah.
Like we sell the shit out of records still. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And with the artwork and everything involved, you know, it's a part of the package, man. It's a part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
The artwork correlates with the music, correlates with the record. I mean, we all grew up buying vinyl and collecting vinyl, and that was important to us, and the whole thing was important to us. You know, most heavy bands these days put so little thought into album covers and, you know, just the package itself. It's like we could tie it all together and actually have something that you can hold on to, something physical.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where that comes from. So yeah, we think about all this before.
The vinyl has come back in huge ways, which is obviously like it's massive now. It's like bigger now than I think it has been in like, you know, probably 20 years or something.
Which is good.
Yeah, and like the whole idea of like the packaging and things like that, you say, I mean, that comes from like, you remember in the 70s when you fucking bought records and they just looked fucking cool. Like you remember like Led Zeppelin 3 and you could change the cover around and shit like that. Like it's to get that book, and even like your Maida Vale live record where the record itself had the printing on it, things like that. Do you feel that nowadays you have to come up with these kinds of ideas to get people to buy records? Because
well, I mean, I don't think you have to. I think we just want to. I mean, we've always wanted to do that, and we put out enough records out now that, you know, when we come up with a record budget, we have space in it to make a package that's worth owning, that somebody would be proud to have in their collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's the idea. You want to hold something. I mean, we grew up in the time and age where you did collect records, and we want to put those type of records out that we had when we were kids that we liked.
Yeah, and collecting records, I mean, I'm a vinyl junkie myself, like fucking, so I hear what you're saying. And with records, obviously, like, you were probably around the same age anyway, and what was the first LP that you guys bought that you remember, like?
English Dogs, Mad Punks and English Dogs.
Mad Punks, English Dogs, nice.
I think mine was Zeppelin 4. I had like a really ripped up copy of it, but yeah.
And what was there a particular song that you heard by these bands that just thought, you know what, I fucking need that record, or did you just like see the cover and just say, fuck, I need to hear this?
I took it, you know, I mail ordered my first one I ever bought, but I grew up with parents who, you know, were teenagers in the 60s, so, you know, they had massive vinyl collections, and both of them did. So I had all of the most classic records and double copies of each of them. Nice. Growing up. So the first record I ever went and bought myself, you know, was mail ordered, and it was, you know, some punk rock shit that I didn't know anything about, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, I you know, it's grew up in a place where we didn't have record stores to walk into.
Oh, wow.
You know, and we grew up in a place where, you know, and if we did, we had to drive a long way to do it.
Hours to get them. We went through, you know, like physical fanzines.
Yeah.
Found the record companies that we like, found the bands that we like, bought their records, then bought all the records by the bands.
We
that
had to do
they
a lot
liked.
of research. We had to do a lot of reading and such, you know, because there wasn't even a big scene. So we just kind of had to like do our own thing with it, you know. So,
And it's like, even now, like, the record stores are diminishing, as we know. Like, it is, like, there are less and less now. I mean, in England, I heard over like 4 years, they lost like 400 record stores or some ridiculous amount, like something stupid.
it's totally sad.
Yeah, it's like, you know, is there any sort of message for kids that are just probably stumbling on this, probably don't even know what, you know, never grew up like what we do with records. Anything?
Listen to the whole fucking record.
Yeah.
But we don't like all of us. We write records, and we want you to listen to everything that we do. We don't write one good song and say, okay, let's figure out 9 other songs to fill up the rest of the time. Like,
Yeah, like
it's meant to
Kiss.
be. You want it to be an experience. You want to take a listener somewhere, and you can't do that in 3.5 minutes.
No, you can't. And I think that's one of the things that I liked about, you know, with the packaging, like green and yellow, you know, the booklet, all the artwork as well. It's like, it's all just telling a story. And like I said, you can't dive into that record at just one song and go, wow, you know, it's like, it is a full experience. I think that also comes back from, like, you know, when you're listening to like bands from like the 60s and 70s, a lot of the psychedelic rock bands had that thing going on as well. You know, even like bands like Deep Purple and stuff, you know, it was like they had singles, but fuck, you couldn't just jump in on a single. You have to listen to fucking Machine Head from start to finish. Yeah, so
of course.
You know what I'm talking about, man.
I mean, those are the records that I think we reference a lot of times when we're putting the package together, because packaging's kind of fall by the wayside in the past 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, we think back to when we were kids, it was a lot of those, you know, 60s and 70s albums that had like a really cool thing to them that was collectible and, you know, was immersive, and, you know, there's music, there's art, there's a whole thing, and, you know, that's what we're interested in. That's what we want to do as a band. We want to create the whole experience for you.
And it seems like as well, like you're saying that your parents are from that era as well, and that you were going through their records and things like that. Is that like stuff like Blue Cheer and Frigid Pink and all that sort of psychedelic rock?
I mean, luckily my parents were both, you know, rock and roll fans. So and you know, and everything from that era. So, you know, it's a little bit of everything, man. Yeah.
not so much in my house.
No. There's a Mario Lanza or something going on there.
No, we didn't have any. There were no LPs in my house.
Oh, okay.
My parents listened to the radio.
Oh, okay. Well, we've got to wrap it up, guys, but thank you so much for spending time with us
Cheers.
today at Heavy TV.
Yeah, of course.
Buy records, buy Baroness. My name's Damo.
Support
John
local music.
P. Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers.
Take
All right,
care.
Thank you.
You good, man?